And we welcome you in to the 2025 Liberty Football Raider Preview Show here on Video Productions. I'm Maris Lowry. We have the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, producing and directing. We have the head coach of the Liberty Raiders in his ninth year, Mark Workman. And we've got his son, Riker Workman, right here between us. And I guess he's the maybe the team mascot. Is that right, Coach? Or
That's
he's just
right.
a little bit of everything for the team?
He is. He's a water boy. He goes and gets equipment for us, and that's the same thing Jackson did when Jackson was his age.
This segment is brought to you by Giovanni's Pizza. Giovanni's Pizza locations in Glen Daniel, right above the school here, and also at Leicester Square in Sofia. Mamma mia, Giovanni's Pizza. If you're not Italian going in, you'll be Italian coming out. Also, this portion is brought to you by New River Community and Technical College. You can save money while you earn credits that will follow you. Also by Pioneer Community Bank and by Window World of Beckley. Well, Coach, here you are. It's hard to believe, starting your ninth season here at the helm of the Liberty Raiders. And talk about a little bit of the off-season of what you've done before you got into fall camp.
Well, we're a small AA school here, and it takes every athlete that we have to participate in every sport for that sport to be competitive. So, it's not the off season that we would necessarily want, but the kids that was in there from January to the end of baseball, they worked hard. And then we started picking up kids. Once we started getting into flex days, we started picking up 15 to 25 kids in there during the summer, and they worked hard. So, we believe as a coaching staff and myself that we are a little bit more ahead of where we've been the last few years as far as the off season. So some of us made some real gains. Some of them we're still getting there through this fall camp. So, but overall, we're pretty pleased.
You talk about being a small AA, and, numbers are so important, especially when you have the gauntlet schedule that you have. And, of course, later in the program we'll talk about that schedule. But I'm sure you've got a lot of kids that got to play both ways because maybe you don't have as many numbers as obviously as maybe you like to have.
Well, we do. It's Iron Man football. I mean, we got 30 out, and we got 15 to 16 kids that we feel that will really distribute on both sides of the ball. So it's going to be up to those 15 or 16 kids on a Friday night, and you're going to put 11 on each side. So you got four subs that we feel that we can put in there and really not miss a beat. So. But you need more than that.
Yeah, and obviously you got to stay healthy, and it's a long season, and players get hurt, and hopefully none of your key guys, or hopefully none of your kids get hurt, but especially to some of your key guys, and we can touch about that. Your son from last year, we were doing the game on Video Productions. Jackson, the quarterback, got hurt in the big win you guys had at Pikeview, and he missed a big part of the season. How's it going for him with his rehabilitation and ready to come back?
Oh, he's 100%. He come back week 9. A football season and had a pretty good last 3 games of the year, and then he rolled into basketball, and he was 100% in basketball, so he's back. He's had a good off season, so the guy that everybody misses out that we missed too was Colton Tolliver. We lost him first quarter of the first game last year against Poca with a blowed ACL. Losing him and Jackson week 1 and week 2, that kind of put a damper on us a little bit, but our kids battled all year long, and Maris, we played pretty well. We was in a lot of games. We just didn't have the depth that it took.
Yeah, we did 4-year games, and matter of fact, we did that Poca game to start the season last year. And once again, for the 5th straight time, we'll open the season with a Liberty game. We'll have that first game, Liberty against Doddridge County. We'll talk about that in our second segment. But, not just the fact that Jackson's your son, but also such a critical position to lose your quarterback that early in the season.
Oh, it is. And, these kids look up to Jackson even as a freshman. And, when he goes down, they was all starting to gel together there, through camp with him being the signal caller. And when he goes down, it wasn't our whole offense that went down, but kind of it was in the terms of he knows where everybody's supposed to be. He knows where everybody's supposed to line up. He knows where everybody's supposed to block. He knows every route. So they all look to him when they're not sure. Well, then we lose that in week 2, and the backup with Chase Shea, he knew he's a good backup, but at the same time, he didn't quite have the reps that Jackson had coming in to the season. So, it kind of hurt us in a way. So hope we can stay away from that injury bug across the board.
You know, speaking of reps, we talked about this, that you still practice 2-a-days. We talked about this before we turned the camera and the mic on, and I said to you, right, you're about the only coach that I know that still does at least a couple days a week that you do 2-a-day to maybe get a little extra reps in.
Yeah, well, this is the first year doing it for a while, and we're just doing twice. We go on Tuesdays and Fridays, and the morning session on Tuesday and Fridays, a lot of times just weights. Now, we changed that up, and we went practice this morning, and we did weights at the end of practice yesterday. So we kind of mix it up, but we want to get back to that camp feel a little bit. Back in the day when I played and you done 2-a-days, 5 days a week, we still believe that these kids have got to be tough. I mean, and there's a certain aspect that goes into those 2-a-days that we feel that you start developing that mental toughness and that physical toughness with it.
And one of the things, too, in this fall camp, not just for you, but for all the teams in the Raleigh County area, it hadn't been as hot, I don't think, this fall camp as it's been in the past. I think it's been a little bit more cooler, and I guess your kids probably really like that much better.
It has. I made a comment to one of my coaches here the last couple of days that this might be the first week of practice that we've had where it hasn't been 90 degrees. It's been between, I'll say, 82 and 85, pleasant. 86 degrees, and with a nice little breeze, so it ain't been bad at all.
All right, we're going to take a break. We come back, we're going to dive into the schedule and a little bit more things here in this 2025 Liberty Preview Show here on Video Productions.
Access Health began as a small clinic with a simple yet powerful purpose: to care for our neighbors right here at home. From the very beginning, it was about people showing up for each other, building trust, and staying connected. Today, Access Health is serving thousands across southern West Virginia. But what makes us different isn't just the care we provide, it's who provides it. Our team was born here, trained here, and lives here. This is what community looks like. This is Access Health, by the community, for the community, always.
Before you hit the Hatfield-McCoy trails, fuel up the way West Virginians do, at Little General Stores. We're proud to be part of your ride. Rooted in West Virginia and built for the back roads. Little General Stores. Fuel your adventure the West Virginia way.
He's a Greenbrier buyer. She's a Greenbrier buyer. They're Greenbrier buyers. And we want to make you a Greenbrier buyer too. At Greenbrier Automotive, we'll do whatever we can to make your car buying experience the best it can be. From providing outstanding service to offering a huge selection to choose from, all with the best deals possible. Visit one of our 7 area dealerships soon or shop over 800 vehicles on greenbrierautomotive.com.
Hey, my name's Paige, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the crispiness of the breading and the tenderness of the filet. It's tasty, it's warm, it's total satisfaction.
Hi, this is Tanya, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is that warm bun, the perfectly seasoned chicken, and that pickle. Woo! I love it. There's a taste of my childhood in every bite.
Welcome back into Liberty High School. I'm Maris Lowry with the head coach in his 9th season, Mark Workman, the heavy hitter of Mr. Nick Eskins, producing and directing. And this second segment is brought to you in part by Giovanni's Pizza. Mamma mia, you might be Italian going in, but you'll definitely be Italian coming out, as they have 2 locations here in Glendaniel, right down from the school, and also in Leicester Square in Sophia. Also brought to you by Window World of Beckley and Pioneer Community Bank. Well, Coach, you opened the season against Doddridge County, and Video Productions will have that game. And to my knowledge, that's the first time I can ever recall Liberty and Doddridge County ever playing. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, they called wanting to get on the schedule, and that's we had week 1 open, so we took it. Doddridge has always been a single A, so they moved up to double A. So get somebody new on there, and we'll see how it goes.
As I'm looking down at your schedule, your first 3 games are at home. We talked about opening up with Doddridge County. You're home with Pikeview, and, of course, that's the return matchup. We were down at Athens last year when Video Productions covered the game, and that's the game we just talked about in our last segment. Your son got hurt in, but you guys played really good and beat Pikeview, and then you got a very good Greenbrier West coming in on the 3rd week.
Yeah, we do. We, getting a couple one-year contracts year in, year out, sometimes you're forced to get that 3-game stretch and then 3 on the road. So, but that's what we're doing. And Pikeview, we feel, is going to be going to be a better team than they were last year. So, and you mentioned Greenbrier West. Greenbrier West has always been a powerhouse in single A, and we thought they was going to go double A. They thought they was going to go double A. So we had week 3 open, and we took that game as well.
So after, you have your scrimmage coming up on the 21st, you're going to scrimmage at Meadow Bridge. So when you come home from that scrimmage, you're going to be home for basically a month,
Yep.
your first 3 games before you got to get on a bus and travel. But then when you travel, you got 3 straight away games after those 3 straight home games. You're going to James Monroe over to Linside. That's a haul. You're going to Buffalo, and then you're going to Westside. So all those are 3 pretty good, significant trips.
They are. James Monroe up at Linside, it's not that bad. It's about an hour and 15 minutes. Westside in week 6, they're about a 45-minute haul for us. Now, Buffalo is a little bit further. It's all interstate, but it's a little bit further than both of those. So, this is our second year playing Buffalo. We played them last year, and we got them again this year. So, we're looking forward to that road trip.
So after you have the first 3 at home, then the next 3 on the road, then you come back and you play county rival Shady before you get into your bye week.
That's right. Shady's always been a rival here, and it'll continue to be a rival for our kids. They're a AAA school. We got 2 AAAs on the schedule, and that's Shady and that's Pikeview. So, I can't say the kids is not looking forward to that game.
Yeah, because I know we did the game last year on Video Productions, one of the 4 games we did of Liberty, and that was a tight, tough, physical game that they played over at Shady a year ago.
Always is. You can throw the record books out, and when we play Shady, and both teams is going to play hard. Coaches, they're going to coach hard, and it's going to be a hard-fought game.
Yeah, and by the time you get to that Shady, you're probably going to need a much-needed week off because that's your bye week right after that.
We got week 7 at Midland Trail, then we got week 8 opened. So we got Midland Trail after.
Oh, Midland Trail moves into that, okay.
After Shady, and then we're open week 8.
And then you'll finish with Summers County and then at Wyoming East.
Yes.
That's still a pretty tough road to hoe.
It is. I mean, Summers County, they moved up to AA, and we put them on the schedule last year. Wyoming East, we feel is going to be a better team than they were last year. So I'm not going to say that it's the hardest schedule in the state of West Virginia, but, we got some quality games on there.
Well, the thing for sure that if you don't play as good as I think maybe you're capable of playing, you could lose. You could beat anybody on your schedule. You could lose to anybody on your schedule.
That's right. We can be 10-0 if we play right. If we don't play, we can be 0-10. So, it's going to be on these kids.
And I'm sure it's more than coaches speak. The players know it's week to week. You can't look at the schedule and say, in week 7, up in October, will be this or this, because with only 30 players, you got to keep everybody healthy. And we know as physical as football is, no matter who you are at what level, sometimes that's really hard to do.
That's right. Practice has got to be scheduled out, and we got to pick our days that we can do some contact. And there may be weeks that we don't get to do any contact because we got a couple kids banged up. So it's you really, as a coach, you really got to be strategic in the way that you do things.
Well, that was going to be my next question. With only 30 kids, once the season gets started, you probably won't want to get in too much full contact. I mean, you might have like a little drills where there's contact, but not a lot half scrimmages or things like that, because you got to save your kids for the game.
That's right. Every year it seems like we're battling uphill with injuries. So, just like last year with Colton and Jackson going down, and we're trying to prevent that as much as possible. Injuries is going to happen, and you got to overcome them. But, if there's things that I can do as a coach, and that's the hint to just one scrimmage, I want to try to be as healthy as I can coming into week 1. So, we really got to be strategic here.
Well, with your son Jackson Workman leading things on the offensive side of the ball, being a quarterback, who do you look to anchor the defensive side of the ball?
Going to be a couple kids. You got Isaac Wims that we really feel good as a linebacker. We got a couple D tackles in there with senior Connor Akard and senior Alex Gerald that they're going to be pretty daggone tough up front. Secondary wise, man, we got Colton Tolliver back there at safety. He's one of those safeties that he's going to come downhill and he's going to hit you. So, those 4 guys we're going to lean to.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll come back in our third segment and wrap things up with the head coach of Liberty, Mark Workman. We'll be right back after this on Video Productions.
Before you hit the Hatfield-McCoy trails, fuel up the way West Virginians do, a Little General Stores. We're proud to be part of your ride. Rooted in West Virginia and built for the back roads. Little General Stores. Fuel your adventure the West Virginia way.
We gave a future driver a first look and asked what he thinks makes a good truck. These trucks aren't just for today's drivers, they're for future ones too.
There's a compartment here, great leather seats, a bunch of charging ports, has everything pretty much.
Now it's your turn.
Since I'm too young to do business in the front, I have to do party in the back.
Come to Midstate Ford and drive off in a new truck, cool enough to earn backseat approval. Midstate Ford, home of the Big John deals.
There's a place where innovation becomes transformation, where you'll find that education is not just about learning, but about being excited to learn. A place to feel at home. Pursue dreams and prepare for careers. Build lifelong friendships. And a place where you'll be encouraged and mentored along your journey. Discover your future. Get ready to soar. The University of Charleston.
So you're ready to get started on that home remodel? Then America's #1 exterior remodeler is here to help. For over 19 years, Window World of Beckley has helped homeowners in our area take care of their greatest investment. We make it easy to remodel your home with special financing options and convenient monthly payments. Because we are locally owned and operated, you can expect the best in customer service. We're excited to see what you have in mind. We look forward to helping you create the home of your dreams.
Welcome back to Liberty High School. I'm Maris Lowry as the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, producing and directing, and we're here with the 9th-year head coach of the Liberty Raiders, Mark Workman. This final segment is brought to you in part by Giovanni's Pizza. Mamma Mia, you may not be Italian going in, but you'll definitely be Italian coming out. Locations at Leicester Square in Sophia, and then right up the road here from Liberty High School at Glen Daniel. Also by Pioneer Community Bank and by Window World of Beckley. Well, Coach, we've talked about personnel on the offensive side of the ball. We've talked about it on the defensive side of the ball. We went over the schedule. You've got 30 players. It looks like, you've got, and I'm sure if you got the right 30 players or the right 11, as you said, you're going to play 11 at a time. That's still, even though you got 30, if you got the right 11 out there, good things can happen.
It can, and that's our job as a coaching staff is to get the best 11 on both sides of the ball put out there, and the best 11 on special teams. So, whenever we're out there, we'll try our best to get the best 11 on the field.
Well, for Liberty, I know that you guys had been in the playoffs about 2 or 3 years ago, and then the last couple of years haven't quite got there. But for Liberty to get to the postseason, the Raiders have to do what?
We got to grow up. We got to stay healthy. We feel like last year we could have made the playoffs if we stayed healthy. I think playoffs is their goal, and for us to do that, we have to stay healthy.
And, of course, I know that's a key, but any specific thing like, look, we got to run the ball. I mean, obviously you got to run the ball, you got to stop the run, but is there anything you can actually point that if we can do this one thing, and we know staying healthy because that's probably every team on every level, but if we can do this one thing, we feel we can make the playoffs.
We got to be able to run the ball. We got to set the tone up front. We got to set the tone up front with the linemen, and we got to be able to run the ball. And Maris, we're not just a running team. We're not just a passing team. My philosophy is we got to be balanced.
Right.
They can't load the box on us. If they load the box, we got to be able to throw the ball. If they put people out in pass coverage, we got to be able to run the ball. But everything is offensively and defensively is got to be manned up front. We're only going to go as far, not as Jackson takes us, not as Isaac Wims at running back takes us, but we only go as far as those 5 hogs we put up front. And 4 or 5 on the defensive side. They've got to be the men of this team.
Yeah, win the war up front, good things will happen to you.
That's right. You're exactly right.
Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck in this 2025 season. We're looking forward that Video Productions will be here for the opening game on August the 29th when you take on Doddridge County, the first time ever, Doddridge and Liberty playing. And like I said, this will be my 5th year working for Video Productions, and we've had your opening game each of the last 4 years. Now will be each of the last 5 years Video Production has done Liberty's first game.
Yeah, we appreciate the coverage, and these kids, they appreciate it as well.
We appreciate everybody for watching. This has been the 2025 Liberty Football Preview Show here on Video Productions.
Access Health began as a small clinic with a simple yet powerful purpose: to care for our neighbors right here at home. From the very beginning, it was about people showing up for each other, building trust, and staying connected. Today, Access Health is serving thousands across southern West Virginia. But what makes us different isn't just the care we provide, it's who provides it. Our team was born here, trained here, and lives here. This is what community looks like. This is Access Health, by the community, for the community, always.
Summer's here, the Jeep is ready, and at Northside Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat, you're getting the best prices in southern West Virginia. Top off, doors open, sunshine pouring in. This is what summer freedom feels like. Your next adventure starts here at Northside Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat in Summersville, where everybody rides. Because summer's better with a Jeep and the best deal around.
Take care of this by the end of the day.
Sure, I'll take care of that. Done.
It's that easy with compliance. Compliance, we've got your back office.